Welcome back to Creation and Elevation. So today's topic is know your value slash worth. The reason why I tell you that you need to know your value and worth is because it's going to determine how your life goes and how people treat you. If you don't know yourself or have a sense of your value, you'll accept certain treatment because that's what you feel like you deserve, because you don't have that understanding of your worth. There's a lot of situations where I see it in myself. I see it myself with the people around me and the youth as well, and some adults around their 30s and 40s. They don't know their worth, so they accept ill treatment. There's certain things like they feel like they're not up to par with, and sometimes they are up to par. Majority of the time they are up to par. They just don't have that sense of self to go after that thing because they feel like they don't deserve it. So when you have a lack of self-worth or you don't know your value, you're more likely to be treated bad by people because one, people treat you how you treat yourself. If you perceive yourself as low value, majority of the time, people who perceive themselves as low value treat themselves unwell because they don't feel like they're up to par. So your work situations, you'll be stuck in toxic environments with work people, you'll be stuck in toxic environments with family, and you'll be stuck in toxic environments with relationships. This all stems from that feeling and not knowing your worth. So somebody who doesn't know their worth, if they get treated bad, or if somebody projects some toxic behavior or does toxic behavior to them, majority of the people think, oh, this is what I deserve. I deserve it. This is all I could get. This is what I have to settle for. A lot of people settle for less because they perceive themselves as less. But when you know your worth, you're able to settle for the value that you are. Because especially nowadays, in the times we are right now, if you let somebody treat you like garbage, they have no problem treating you like garbage. If you allow them to do the bare minimum, they have no problem. But when you know have an understanding of self and you know your self-worth, you're gonna set a standard. It's gonna be like you can't enter here unless you're like this. And then that disqualifies that disqualifies a lot of low vibrational people who will hinder you, because you wanna know why. It's like, he or she knows their worth. I can't mess with them. Because people who don't know their worth, they'll keep on coming back because they feel like that's all they can get. You don't have a sense of self. If I feel like, oh, this is my worth is up here. If somebody treats me like my worth is down here, I'm not going for it. I'm gonna kick them out my life because I know my worth. I know what I deserve. But if you don't know that and you really deserve this, but you think you deserve this, when they give you this or this, that's what you're settling for. Never settle for less or the next best thing. Always settle for the best thing that you need, what you want. Settle for what you feel like you deserve. And I really want to touch on this because I had an experience like that once as well. I had difficulties like knowing my worth, and I would let people do certain things to me, like walk all over me. And I wouldn't like this stuff. They'll walk all over me, treat me bad, this, that. But once I got a sense of self-worth, these people aren't in my lives anymore. It's either I stop talking to them or I tell them, you disrespect me, I'm not rocking with you. And then they disrespect me again because they think I'm the same person. Then, And in me doing this, I had a I'm trying to find a term to put it. So I had a lady that I had past relations with tell me that she hates when a man knows his worth, because that means she can't play with him or do bad things to him because he won't accept it. That's how these people think. So do you want to be surrounded by people like this? Because you will not be able to grow around people like this, because they'll Oh, you want to come up? Nah, come back here, man. You don't want to be around those people. You need to know your worth. You need to know what you deserve. You're not going to settle for these toxic jobs, these toxic friends, these toxic relationships, because that's not what you're worth. Have an understanding of what you're worth. Because a lot of people, like, having that lack of worth can stem from, having that lack of self-worth or knowing your worth could stem from your childhood or just bad perception of yourself. A lot of us and a lot of the people that you see, they learn a majority of things from their childhood. That's why they say you must treat a child right. That's the point where your brain is developing. Your brain is developing, you're learning certain things, And you're gonna pick up on what's right, what's wrong. You start gaining your moral compass and sense of self. But when that's removed from you, or you've never experienced a positive experience to where you being yourself and you knowing your self-worth is embraced or grown, then you will have a lack of self-worth. Like if I go to a child and tell a child negative, if I feed the child negativity and I say, yo, you're like this, you're like that, that's a child. It's not like somebody my age who would be like, nah, you just hating, I'm not like that. That's a child. You tell the child 2 + 2 is 3, the child's gonna think 2 + 2 is 3 until somebody proves to them that it isn't. So think about that. A lot of this stuff stems from childhood, the way people treat us, because a lot of people, they're shut down in their homes, if we're honest. If we want to touch on that, or if we're honest, a lot of people get shut down in their homes because in a lot of households, it's authoritarian. It's like, oh, you're a child, stay in your place. You're a child, you can't say this, you can't say that. And that treatment, especially if you have children, bro, that treatment, I don't have kids myself, so I can't tell you how to raise your kids. But doing that to your child is going to mess your child up. Because you want to know what? Your child is not going to feel like their voice is heard. So when they go outside and they need to speak up, they're going to be timid. They're going to be quiet. They're not going to voice. Or they're going to have problems communicating because they're not used to voicing their opinion. Or they feel like their opinion is invalid. If they get rejected, you know how they're going to take that? Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, this, that. They won't understand. They'll take certain things differently. Somebody who was taught certain things or was loved correctly, was taught how to express themselves correctly, wasn't shut down. Sometimes a child does need to stay in the child's place. Let's be honest. But you need to be able to decipher when that's different. And I'm talking to the parents right now. If you're a grown adult, I'm talking to the parents right now. You need to decipher which one, Because sometimes we all know kids. Kids will tell the truth. Kids will say some crazy stuff. Sometimes you need to shut that down. But when it's time for, your kid to talk, express themselves, or do anything that shows you that they're understanding and they're getting a better grasp of who they are, let that grow. Don't try to make your child be you. Because a lot of parents try to make their child live through them. And on top of that, when you instruct your child not to do something, explain to them. Don't just say, oh, don't do that. Explain to them why they shouldn't do it. And then with their own free will, if they decide to do it, mama told me not to put my feet in the water, and I did. That's the way it is. But know your self-worth, because, man, you'll save a lot of time. You won't tolerate the red flags because you thinking, that's going to jeopardize who I am. I don't deserve that treatment. Oh, your boss talked to you funny? You're not going to think, oh, that I can't do nothing. And it also comes with lack mentality as well. If you got that lack mentality and you don't know your self-worth, oh, you're grits. A lot of people won't leave those relationships because they don't know their worth. And on top of that, they have a lack mentality. They think, oh, if I leave this person, I might not be able to find somebody else. Don't think like that. That's how you hinder yourself. Or if I leave this job, I may not find a job that pays me as good. You never know. You never know. Leaving these situations can be a blessing. And I'll tell you, leaving a toxic situation is always going to be a blessing. Always. Undeniably. There's always something. There's always something. I'm going to tell you right now. Sometimes in people's lives, there's an obstacle. And that obstacle is there to block them from what they're really supposed to be doing. Or the person they're really supposed to be with. It's like the decoy before the real thing comes in. The thing that distracts you from the real thing so you can miss that opportunity to get that real thing. And then on top of that, you could take these experiences that you have with these people and use it to grow and age you. Oh, I don't like when people treat me like this. Now you have a certain standard. You know what you want in certain people. And sometimes people have to repeat to get it. And if that's you, that's you. I can't judge you. But if you need that one time, you know you learn your lesson one time, you're going, oh, I don't like this. Take that out, take that out, take that out. Oh, put this in, put this in, put this in. That's how simple it is. You know, you got to know your self-worth and build your self-worth if you feel like you don't got none. If you don't have any, like, let's be honest. We all have some sort of worth and value to an extent, you know? And value is not like, oh, I own this, I have this much money. That's worldly value. That's what the world wants you to be focused on. We're talking about spirit. We're talking about who you are, your character. That's what makes you valuable. Your character, who you are as a person, the things that you do behind the scenes when people ain't looking. Who you are authentically and genuinely. Because if you're a horrible person, if you're a horrible, toxic person on the inside, your value is pretty low, let's be honest. But you could always work out of that, you know? You're not stuck in that. You just need to grow out of it. And that's up to you on whether you want to do that or not. But, yeah, you need to know your self-worth and get a better understanding of yourself. Because you'll save yourself a lot of time, a lot of energy. And, you know, hopefully I can help you guys because, you know, I teach off of my experiences so people don't fall into the same holes I've fallen in, you know? So just trust. What I'm telling you, if you implement it, it will take immediate effect. Immediate effect. Know your self-worth. You know, love yourself. Don't allow anybody to treat you any which way. You know, have high standards. People only gonna talk down on your standards when they're high because they don't reach them. All right. And then back on topic now. So don't get distracted by all this money, fame, girls. Don't get distracted by all that. Yeah, all that's cool. All that's cool, you know. But it's really your character. It's really your spirit that's going to get you farther in life. These people got money. And I ain't joshing on them. You know, they did their thing. They worked for it. So, you know, kudos to you. But, you know, heal yourself. Work on yourself. Because for all my hustlers, you know, my paper chasers, going there, tout le monde qui a allé pour faire un bagay dans la vie, yo. Ou connaît, ou besoin. Stop. Yeah, my fault. So for everybody who's trying to do something in their life, you know, like who's trying to be something great, don't forget to heal yourself. Because what's the point of having all that money and attention when you're not happy? You don't got no peace of mind. That sucks, bro. You might as well, people say like you have peace of mind when you're down. No, it depends on what you do while you're down. That's going to determine what happens to you and how you move when you up. If I'm doing destructive things while I'm down and I come up and I keep doing that when I'm at the top, of course, I'm going to reap what I sowed. But if I put the time in, I heal, I do all this extra stuff, I set my standards, when I'm coming up, I'm going to change as a person too. Like, so it's only going to get better. And then when you're at the top, you happy, you got everything you want, you know? To an extent, there's pros and cons to everything. Double-edged sword, you know? But you got to know what you're signing up for. Remember, know your worth. It's creation and elevation. I'm gone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Love, light, peace. Don't forget to love your brothers. Don't forget to love your sisters. Give everybody a hug and be genuine.